Coming up, it's the 10th year of the South Florida High School Football Show. We'll go running with the top teams in Dade and Broward. On the recruiting trail, we'll look at the best quarterbacks, and we'll preview some of the year's biggest games. All of that and more coming up on the South Florida High School Football Show. Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to the South Florida High School Football Show. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. DBJ, it's our anniversary year. 10 years we've been doing this show, year number 10.
Can you believe it, Joe? We made it a decade.
Absolutely, and we had a great new location. We're at BurgerFi in Weston, right on Weston Road. And let me tell you something, the food here is off the charts.
And for you people that do not eat meat, come get the veggie burger. It's unbelievable. I just tasted it, and trust me, I'm very finicky. It was delicious.
We're going to have highlights of that a little bit later on in the show. All right, speaking of off the charts, football in Dade and Broward County is off the charts. It's already underway. Let's go into Dade County now. A big game this past weekend. Booker T and Central. That was a massive, titanic game. We're going to take a look at the highlights a little bit later on, but first, let's take a look at the two teams. Booker T, ranked #1 in the country in a lot of different polls.
They're as good as it gets, Joe. They go to Norcross, Georgia, go on the road, play at the opponent's home stadium, and slaughter them. Let's face it, they did everything right. They look good offensively. They look good defensively. Coach Harris has done a phenomenal job with his discipline. They've got a defensive end in Chad Thomas, who is outstanding, a D1 prospect. But the quarterback situation there, when you look at Treon Harris and what he's been able to do and how he can manipulate defenses, not just run an offense, but the fear that he puts in a defense with his ability to run, and now you see his arm strength. No wonder they put up all those points.
Treon Harris led the county with 2,500 yards a year ago, 32 touchdowns. Booker T, much like Central, they're not going to back down from anybody after the big game against Central. They still have a couple of huge games still to play.
Well, Booker T still got to go out to Las Vegas, and let's just talk about Dade and Broward County, and then you talk about having to get to state and all the tough games that you go through in the playoffs. But I will tell you that they're a well-coached team, they're an experienced team, and Coach Harris knows what he's doing by taking them on the road to Vegas, put them in that environment, taking them on the road to Georgia, put them there. But I still say the toughest football is in South Florida.
Well, Central was geared up for the game as well on Friday night. The Rockets' new head coach, old head coach, Roland Smith, who was the head coach at Northwestern, has taken over at Central, and they are loaded.
Well, when you've got backs that combined for nearly 3,000 rushing yards last year and 41 touchdowns, and then you talk about Coach Smith. He's a veteran coach, had great success at Northwestern. I think they made a great hire when they brought him into Central. They know that they have a guy that can handle those players, but more importantly, he knows how to handle the playoffs and he knows how to handle the postseason. I think it was a perfect marriage.
Of course, they had the two-headed running back combination, two outstanding running backs.
Well, that's what's amazing about this. I don't remember the last time in high school that I saw a team that had two backs of that caliber. And what are you talking about? Pure D1, legitimate D1 college football running backs. And you may not even have to throw a pass, and what a wonder that does for your defense. When you're able to eat up time of possession and spell those guys because they are different styles, it makes for a successful season.
Roland Smith is a former defensive back in his college days at the University of Miami. He's put together a stellar secondary there.
Well, you know that they're going to know how to cover. You know they're going to read offenses, and you know one thing, they will know how to tackle. And that's the entire defense, not just the secondary. Coach Smith has always made sure that they're fundamentally sound and they chase the football, and it's 11 men to the ball.
We'll have more in that game in a moment. Let's go to Broward County University School. The Suns won the state championship a year ago. Roger Harriet finally broke through and won a state championship.
Well, listen, once you do that, you have the confidence and the experience to continue to have success. That first one is always the hardest because you have to learn how to navigate the playoffs. You have to learn how to manage your roster when players get tired at the midseason point, and then it becomes a grueling playoff segment. And he was able to do that, and it paid off.
has a great quarterback there. Sean White can really throw the football.
Sean White has done a phenomenal job. He manages the game as well as run the offense. And there's two things that are totally different. He has to understand the down and distances. He has to understand where the chains are. And he's done a good job figuring that out. And that's why that offense has been so successful.
University School's not backing down either. They're going to play Central later on in the year. They're also going to play Boyd Anderson in Norland. And in the playoffs, they are on a collision course with Booker T. They're both in 4A.
Well, I credit them for playing some of the Dade County teams and playing those opponents that are going to look like the path that you have to get through to get to the championship game. And it's important for your players to see the bigger, faster kids, especially when it benefits you down the road.
All right, we are off and running here on the South Florida High School Football Show, year number 10. Let's take a look at all the highlights with Joe Rose.
Thanks, Joe and Don. Well, Friday night was a huge night in Dade County between the top two teams, not just in South Florida, in the country, playing for #1 nationally between Booker T and Central. Here we go. This game living up to the expectations. Let's get right to it. Game tied at 7. Canes fans, you gotta love this. Joseph Yearby flies in for the go-ahead touchdown. The Rockets had Booker T on their heels early, leading by 7 at halftime, but it's hard to contain Tornadoes quarterback Treon Harris. He lets it fly, connecting with Deltron Hopkins. Hold on to your hat. We got a tie ball game in the third. Central would take the lead on a field goal, but here comes Treon again, putting the team on his back. Scrambles from 4 yards out, putting Booker T up 21-17 in the fourth. Now, with less than a minute to go, one last chance for the Rockets, but linebacker Terry Jefferson ices the game, intercepting the ball. He rumbles 75 yards to the end zone. Booker T. Washington will stay #1, beating Central 28-17. Hey, we got more action from Friday night. Killian taking on South Miami. It was all Cougars. Sophomore running back Cliff Smith taking the toss and taking it to the house to put Killian up 7-0. The Cougars getting it done on special teams as well, blocking a chip shot field goal to keep the shutout intact. Killian rolls 21-zip over South Miami. American Heritage El Rey taking on American Heritage Plantation. Remember the name Sony Michel. He's good. He'll be doing his business in the SEC for the Georgia Bulldogs next year. The standout tailback bouncing outside for the 12-yard touchdown run. Then in the third, going east and west, once again sneaks inside the pylon for 7 more. The American Heritage Patriots, they go on to win this one 28-6.
The South Florida High School Football Show is brought to you by the U.S. Army, Tico People's Gas, The Chamber, Metro PCS, South Florida Chevy Dealers, Broward Health, BurgerFi in Weston, Vitamin Shop, and 560 QAM.
A few years ago, I decided to push myself further. College, graduate school, degrees in aeronautics and engineering. And I learned that being my best means getting the best from everyone around me. Becoming an Army officer taught me to set high objectives and quickly rise to meet them. Kinda like a rocket.
An Army officer learns to reach new heights and inspires others to do the same. Can you? Find out at goarmy.com/officer.
He's a 20 years straight, get to work on time. He's loved one woman for all his life. Everybody knows he ain't just tough, he's strong.
The all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Strong for all the roads ahead.
The recruiting segment is brought to you by Metro PCS, wireless for all.
Back on the South Florida High School Football Show, Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. We're at BurgerFi in Weston, the best burgers in Broward County. And by the way, when the show is over, I'm going to murder a milkshake.
You should, Joe. Don't forget the French fries either. Now, they make those pretty darn good themselves.
We move into our recruiting segment with Larry Bluestein. Before we bring on Old Blue, I want to talk about him for a moment. He's going through some tough times here, battling some kidney disease, and we're going to tell you how you can help Larry Bluestein, but he's been helping this community for a long time.
Well, when you think about helping somebody, what person deserves more help than somebody that has dedicated their life to this community? He has spent his entire lifetime supporting high school football. He's always there when anybody needs him. He's always supporting the coaches. He's supporting the players. And he does whatever he can to help a young man get a scholarship. And now it's time to help Larry Bluestein. And you can do that, and you should do it like we all are.
Blue was given the Courage Award this past summer by the Miami Herald. Well, speaking of Blue, it's our recruiting segment. It's our Metro PCS recruiting segment with our LG Optimus L9. It sounds like a football play.
Yes, go deep, Joe.
Yeah, go deep. All right, so on our LG Optimus L9, we call in Old Blue to talk about quarterbacks. Larry, let's talk about the best quarterbacks in Dade and Broward County.
Well, Joe and Don, another year, and when you talk about offense, what about quarterbacks? And I'll tell you this, if you followed quarterbacks in South Florida for any length of time, you'll have a great understanding that it's never been really deep. This year, it probably is as deep as they've ever been. Let's start in Dade County. Treon Harris from Booker T. Washington. If you saw earlier in the year when they played up in Norcross, Georgia, this is a guy that everybody talked about. Yeah, he's committed to Florida State, and they tell him he's going to play quarterback. But on the other hand, you know what happens when a guy that's about 6 foot or under 6 foot comes in, they find another position for him. It's going to be awfully tough. Another one to watch, and this is like kind of a clone, a little shorter, compact, but he can throw. This is Winky Flowers, Quentin Flowers from Miami-Jackson High School. Everybody knows about him. I said last year there wasn't a quarterback in the state of Florida that took his team further with less talent around him than Winky Flowers, a tremendous football talent. And our final one is going to the University of Miami. Probably will not go as a quarterback, but Trayon Gray from Miami Carroll City is one of those guys. I'm telling you, if you watch him play, he could play linebacker, he could play safety. Even last year against Berlin Jesuit, he won a game for Carroll City by returning a kick. I mean, when you have an athlete like that, it's amazing. Let's move to Broward County, and in Broward County you have some marquee kids. Let's just start off with Sean White. Now, if you remember Sean, the last couple of years, guys, he was at Chaminade Madonna. Joe, you know that's your alma mater. But now he shifted up. He's going to university school. And during the summer, when he had an opportunity to showcase his abilities, he did that. He was voted as the #1 quarterback at the Top Gun event, and that's held in the West Coast, where usually the West Coast quarterbacks get most of the publicity. Speaking about West Coast quarterbacks and West Coast teams, what about Washington State? Here's Coach Leach, offensive-minded guy with all these quarterbacks to choose from. He comes to Florida, Cardinal Gibbons High School, to get Peyton Bender. 6'2", 200 pounds. Everybody who's watched him said, this is a kid who could play as well as anybody. And our final quarterback in South Florida to take a look at is Wade Freeback. We saw him last year at Western. Now he's made the move to St. Thomas Aquinas. This is a big kid at 6'4", about 215 pounds. He's on his way to Pittsburgh. And I'm telling you guys, when you look at all the talent in Dade and Broward, and I followed this for a long time, this has got to be easily the most deepest at the quarterback position I can remember.
If you would like to help Larry Bluestein, here's how you can help contribute to his cause. It's the Our Blue Foundation, P.O. Box 3181, Hollandale Beach, Florida 33009, or give a call to 305-355-5194.
The South Florida Chevy dealers will be recognizing outstanding educators and handing out $4,000 in donations. Help us by nominating a high school teacher for the 2013 South Florida Chevy Dealers High School Teacher of the Year Award. Chevy will award a crystal trophy to one teacher in each county, plus each teacher's school wins a $2,000 general donation. Visit SouthFloridaHighSchoolFootball.com to learn how to nominate a teacher for consideration. We're accepting nominations until January 17th. The winners will be announced February 5th.
Welcome to the Chamber Sports Performance Minute. Today, Eric, 2012 Olympian, will take you through a segment on the field.
I'm here on the Chamber Field, and I'm going to teach the #1 thing that every athlete wants to achieve and every person admires, and that is speed. To learn speed, the first thing you need to do is learn technique, technique, technique. With the proper technique, you can develop a better athlete, and #2, help prevent injuries. Here at the Chamber, we try to go through 3 speed progressions. The first one being is a march. With the march, you can clearly see me lifting my knees and my toes up and my arms swinging. This is the first step in learning technique. The second will be a skip. The skip is we're trying to develop the power to the ground. This is the power the athlete is putting to the ground, making sure his legs fall right underneath his hip. Keep in mind, the arms are swinging. And third, the most important one that I love to do and that I know helped me become a semifinalist at the Olympic Games is the bound. It helped me work my ankle and calf complex, and it helped me become a better athlete as far as getting distance per stride when I run. It looks like this. With those 3 drills and our speed progression taught here at the Chamber, you could develop a better athlete, more importantly, a faster one.
For more information or to contact us, visit chamberfitness.com.
The South Florida High School Football Show is also on Facebook at SFHSFS. And you can follow us on Twitter at HSFBall and Instagram at SFHSFS. You'll receive weekly updates from our insiders, news, announcements, and game day scoring updates from all over South Florida, plus deals and offers from our partners.
For outdoor projects large or small, avoiding buried utility lines is more than food for thought.
What happened?
Know what's below. You or your contractor should always call 811 before you dig. Utilities will mark your lines for free. Brought to you by Tico People's Gas.
Broward Health is good at keeping muscles and joints in motion and out of pain. So good, they treat some of the nation's top athletes. So good, they've been selected to perform joint replacements on retired players. And so good, they handle more ortho cases and perform more joint replacements than anyone else in Broward. So if you're a senior with joint pain or an injured athlete of any age, trust the team Ryan Tannehill trusts.
Broward Health, powerful medicine.
The Coaches segment is brought to you by BurgerFi in Weston, all natural.
Welcome back to the South Florida High School Football Show. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. coming to you from BurgerFi in Weston, right on Weston Road, just off of Royal Palm Boulevard, and we are just moments away from me slaughtering a cheeseburger.
An all-natural cheeseburger,
That's
mind
right.
you, Joe.
A reminder, next week our show will be at 11:30 right here on NBC6. We move into our Coach of the Week segment. New member of our crew is former Miami Dolphin wide receiver Chris Chambers.
Chris Chambers, we're lucky to have him. Great amount of experience, and he'll do a fine job with us.
Chris is going to be with us here momentarily. Our Coach of the Week is Stephen Fields from Northwestern High School, who is a former University of Miami graduate assistant.
And is doing a great job at Northwestern. Going into his second year out there, came in and is reestablishing that program. He does a nice job at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, Joe. But I like the main thing that he does is that he's teaching these young men about after football. For the ones that don't go on and play college football, and for the ones that even do, he wants to make sure that that they have an understanding of what it takes to be a successful person outside of sports.
All right, here's Stephen Fields now with Chris Chambers.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Coach Fields, second season with Miami Northwestern. And what do you expect this season?
You know, I'm excited. Our young men have worked hard, you know, in the offseason. We're ready to go. Got a lot of good young talent. You know, we lost 18 starters last year, but this year, one thing that we have is this team is going to come together and rally together to be one.
You guys play in one of the toughest districts probably in the country. I mean, is there a specific blueprint that you have to go with, or you just take one game at a time and, you know, kind of work with what you have?
You know, you really have to take one game at a time, really one practice at a time, because, you know, every single week we play a quality opponent. You know, we play 3 of the top 10 teams in the nation in the regular season, and, you know, we have a team that's #1 in the nation in our district. You know, and so you can never count out other teams in our district like Carroll City and Homestead, who has #1 receiver in the country. So, you know, every week is a challenge for us, but that makes you better men, makes the players on my team better men, and we just learn how to face adversity.
Is there any, you know, one player or a couple players we should look for this season?
You know, Mike Smith, defensive end, he right now is committed to University of Miami, plays with a lot of passion. He brings a lot. Sean Spence's little brother, Shamar Spence, is the guy that's in the secondary safety that brings a lot, you know, to the table. We have Officer Joseph Robinson, a receiver that's committed to Florida State. We have a lot of talent. You know, I don't like to single out specific guys because we really try to keep things team-based.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Well, Coach, thanks a lot. We appreciate it, and good luck this season.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Don't forget to check out SouthFloridaHighSchoolFootball.com, where you'll get recruiting overviews powered by Larry Bluestein, a review of the top 20. We'll preview the top games in Dade and Broward County. We'll catch you up on Shaquille Jackson's blog and game recaps. You can nominate candidates for the Player of the Year and for the High School Teacher of the Year. catch any of this season's TV shows you may have missed, plus a whole bunch more.
Tico Peoples Gas is awarding the Player of the Year award to one player in Miami-Dade and one player in Broward. To nominate a player, visit SouthFloridaHighSchoolFootball.com. Look for the Tico Vote Here icon. Nominations are open until November 30th. The players take home a beautiful crystal trophy, and the schools that vote the most receive a $500 donation. The winners will be announced during our National Signing Day TV show on February 5th.
We continue now with our Broward Health Injury Report, and joining us is Dr. Yoldis, and our topic today is one of the most common sports injuries, and that's the ACL.
Yeah, the ACL is a very common injury we have whenever we're using our body in an athletic way, when we change position, whether it's a contact or non-contact sport.
The surgery news, however, is much better today than it was a long time ago.
Absolutely. 30 years ago, the surgery was very long rehab, very less predictable outcome. Now we're much better in terms of getting athletes back to their level of function.
And to get them back functioning, there's some rehab involved.
Absolutely. Typically, there's a period of crutches and a brace based on surgeon preference, but we don't allow return to competition for 6 to 9 months.
All right, Dr. Yoldis, thanks so much. Great information. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dr. Yoldis joining us here at Broward Health.
Hi, I'm Laura Jeremidis with this week's U.S. Army All-American Bowl nominees.
This week, we have 3 standout prospects from Miami-Dade County. First up is Treon Harris from Booker T, Washington. Harris comes in at 5'11", 180 pounds. He's a unique prospect because of his ability to play so well on both sides of the ball, playing quarterback and defensive back for the Tornadoes. With a 40 time of 4.48 and 35 passing touchdowns, it's easy to see why Harris is a matchup nightmare. He's received offers from FSU, UM, UCF, and others, though he's expected to sign with Miami. Next up, Quentin Flowers from Jackson, stacking in at 6 feet, 190 pounds. Flowers is ranked as both a top 10 QB and wide receiver going into his senior season at Jackson. He has a number of moves he uses in the pocket to evade pass rushers, with wheels to get himself in the end zone if need be. USF coach Willie Taggart got a verbal commitment out of Flowers while attending a USF satellite camp in Miami early June. Alabama also has a close eye on this dual-threat QB. Last up, Dalvin Cook from Miami Central. Cook is 5'11", 190 pounds, and is considered to be one of Florida's best prospects. The 5-star running back has unreal vision with killer speed to back. Look for Cook to make big plays this year as Miami Central attempts to fight their way back to the state title game they won in 2012. He committed to Clemson at first, but Will Muschamp and the University of Florida have recently made him reconsider his initial commit with the Tigers.
At Metro PCS, we believe in the power of the period. It keeps you from spending too much on wireless.
Unlimited data, talk, and text. $40, period. Everything you want.
Even the taxes and fees are rolled right in.
$40, period. On a nationwide 4G network, no annual contract, $40, period.
That's period power.
Everything you want, $40, period. Only at Metro PCS.
He's a 20 years straight, get to work on time. He's loved one woman for all his life. Everybody knows he ain't just tough, he's strong.
The all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Strong for all the roads ahead.
Welcome back to the South Florida High School Football Show as we continue from BurgerFi here in Weston, right on Weston Road. Another great slate of games lined up for you on the radio. Next week on a Thursday night, we're going to have Cypress Bay and University. Our broadcast crew this year is Mike Levine and former St. Thomas and FIU quarterback Wesley Carroll. For a breakdown of the season and the schedule, here they are.
Thanks, Joe and Don. Well, how about our high school football season? Wes and I are having a lot of fun as we've already done St. Thomas Aquinas and Northwestern, followed by Booker T and Central. You couldn't have 4 bigger teams to kick off your season with to really start off things on a hot way. University School in Cypress Bay, that's next. Now, how about Mark Wandolo up against Roger Harriet? University School, state champs from a year ago, Wes. That's a big-time program now.
Yeah, really excited to watch Mark Wandolo. What he's done with Cypress Bay has just been phenomenal.
Carroll City and Northwestern, obviously a great matchup, probably a Travis Powell Stadium. Of course, Columbus and Norland, kind of two different styles colliding in that one.
Yeah, Columbus is traditionally a ground and pound team. Looking forward to see what they can do on the ground with that big offensive line.
And of course, early on in October, South Ridge and South Dade down at Harris Field. That's an old rivalry just getting ready to rev up again.
Rivalries, you can never tell who's going to come out to play, but certainly looking forward to it.
All right, following South Ridge and South Dade, how about a Saturday night showcase October 12th, Booker T and Northwestern. Tons of talent. Unfortunately, this year, it's all on Booker T's side.
Yeah, that's right. Both teams have come out with a lot of athletes, but really trying to turn the tables and get big records going.
Following week, Cypress Bay and St. Thomas. Oh, boy, a lot of running, a lot of ground and pound in that one if you like the Big Ten football.
Mark Guandolo against St. Thomas, something that the fans have been loving to see come up for some time.
To round out October, Miramar, Cypress Bay. Again, Miramar's got a lot of the athletes, the speed. Cypress Bay is going to wing tee you to death with a little bit of a shake and bake as well. Opening up November, Northwestern and Homestead. That game at Travis Powell Stadium. Homestead, long drive. They got a shot to win that one.
Yeah, they really do. They've got a very good offensive line that can run the ball and definitely go against those Bulls.
How about this game to wrap up the regular season? Central and University School. Can you say D1 scouts at that game?
Not only D1 scouts, I think there'll be some NFL scouts there too.
No doubt. All right, of course, November is the regional quarterfinals, the regional championship and state semifinals. We will take you up until the Final Four, do that game, and then, of course, wrap up the season that way. So, hey, it's going to be another jam-packed year with a lot of D1 talent, awesome teams, great coaches, and some stories that usually go under the radar. And really, it starts in week 1 and it ends all the way to the state semifinals. There's nothing better than that. High school football in Dade and Broward County. You find me 2 counties that have better play than this one. All right, that'll do it for the schedule look. Joe, Don, back to you.
All right, fellas, thank you very much. We're here at BurgerFi in Weston, right on Weston Road. Keep your hands down for a second, because we got a feast in front of us. Lisa is the owner here at BurgerFi. We have custard here. This is vanilla and red velvet, chocolate, key lime. That's the dessert. Over here we got a bacon cheeseburger.
The bad burger.
Bad burger.
Bad
Breakfast
burger.
all day, Joe.
Bad burger. We have a hot dog over here. Chicago dog. All right, and we have a variety of other hamburgers, cheeseburgers, regular burgers, veggie burgers, right?
That's right.
We got everything. We have
But
milkshakes.
Joe, don't forget the fries. They got. Look at these fries. Look, see, look at this. Who could turn this down? I want to tell you how good they taste.
Go
Joe.
ahead.
Perfect.
Perfect, right?
I'll take them to go.
All right, well, here we go. We got the blitzes on. Get away from there.
One more fry for
All
me.
right.
Hold on.
Thanks for joining us. Come out to BurgerFi. We'll see you next Sunday at 11:30 right here on NBC6.
Perfect.
The South Florida High School Football Show has been brought to you by the U.S. Army, Tico People's Gas, The Chamber, Metro PCS, South Florida Chevy Dealers, Broward Health, BurgerFi in Weston, Vitamin Shop, and 560 QAM.
9 months you've been working hard. 9 months. You've been turning individuals into a family. 9 months. You've had this day circled on your calendar. 9 months, you've been hearing how Dade football is better than Broward football. You've been hearing how Miami Northwestern is going to show us how football is going to be played. Well, that day is here. That day is now. It's time to step out from the shadow of last year's team. It's time to step out and make a name for yourselves. Not as individuals, but as St. Thomas Aquinas High School football. Today, we start our season. Today, we start 1-0. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You go. We go. Let's go. Let's go, guys.